Thank you so much for joining us today. Oh, I'm scared we're going to fall off these stools, but here we are. Thank you so much for being here for the Q&A. We appreciate it. I know it's freezing cold outside, but I'm sure all your questions are going to bring the heat. A reminder for how these Q&As go. Media, there is a microphone somewhere around here. Oh, I see Jose. Okay, you already got it. And then there's 2 microphones over here. Thank you guys for pointing it out. Over here and over here. If you have questions for today's panelists, get in line, ask away, and have a good time today. We appreciate it, but I know you are here to listen to the 3 gentlemen who are going to grace us with their presence. So without further ado, he made his debut in 2006 and had a trilogy of insane classics with Spencer Fisher. Please welcome London, Ontario's own Sam Stout. So good to see Sammy back here. You can keep it whatever you want. Oh, thank you so much. I believe so, yes. All right, he is a WEC legend. There's Sam. His teammate's about to come out, a WEC legend who had one heck of a fight right here in Toronto, still to this day, one of the greatest walkouts of all time. Please welcome former title challenger Mark Hominick. I love this so much. WC forever. Hello, Mark. Thanks for joining us. All right, and he is the fighting pride of Toms River, New Jersey, the former lightweight champion. You guys know him. You love him. Please welcome Frankie Edgar. All right, like I said, hello, Frank. Thanks for coming. We've got these microphones here. Don't hesitate to get in line. Usually, we try to get everyone's question in. Hopefully, we can today. I know media, you're starting us off. Jose Youngs, get us started.
I'll start with Stam and Mark all the way at the right here. Right here.
Right in the front.
Obviously, this part of Canada has been pretty starved for mixed martial arts. So I guess, how good does it feel to be, as the Canadians up there, to see the Octagon return here in Toronto?
You know, they came back in Vancouver, and Canada really showed that we're still here. We got a really new crop of talent. And, you know, I could see a clean sweep again this weekend.
Same question for Sam. How does it feel to see the Octagon back here in Toronto?
I mean, you know, we've done everything we can. Mark, myself, and Mark, and George St. Pierre, and some of the old school guys. So it's nice to see kind of like a new crop, like Mark said. I'm really excited to see Mike Malott fight. He's kind of our horse to bet on right now. So I'm excited to see him fight in his home province.
Well, to go off of that, you obviously referenced the new crop. What do you think the state of mixed martial arts is in Canada? Because for years we had you guys, we had George, we had Rory, and now there was kind of a lull for a while. So what do you make of the state of MMA here in Canada?
I mean, it's been tough, right? You got kind of things standing in the way, a little bit of bureaucracy and whatnot to, you know, there's no amateur MMA in Ontario to speak of. You know, so it'd be nice to see some of the doors open to kind of start the grassroots program, because, I mean, if you don't have a grassroots MMA system, then you're not going to produce kind of guys at the higher level. So, you know, I'm glad to see, that being said, the guys that have made it here today have done it swimming upstream their whole career. So I'm really proud of them, and you know, hopefully that gives them a little more grit and tenacity when they get in there tomorrow.
Question for Frankie. Obviously, you've done a few of these Q&As since your retirement, but it's always, you know, a couple months in between. So how have the last few months been? How's retirement been? We know you're doing the podcast. What have you been up to since retirement?
Yeah, I just had a movie come out, Bastard Sons. It's on Amazon and iTunes. Had a lot of fun doing it. It was an indie flick, little gangster flick, kind of good part for myself. I'm opening up a jiu-jitsu and martial arts school, MMA school in my hometown. Kind of focused on that, chasing my kids around the wrestling season, and yeah, just living life.
Can we expect to see you to do more movies moving forward?
You know, if there's a sequel, yes. And if something comes across my desk, I'll consider it. But I'm not really, you know, actively seeking anything out.
And I do have to ask, as a former lightweight champion, featherweight contender, and bantamweight contender, you got a bantamweight title fight coming up, a featherweight title fight coming up, and then Justin Gaethje's putting his BMF title online against Max. So when you fought at lightweight, so what do you make of these trio of title fights we have coming up in the next couple months?
I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. You know, look what this sport has become, right? I mean, it's amazing. The lightweight guys are always representing. I think the lightweight classes, obviously that's where we came from, have been always exciting and super competitive. I mean, if at one point 45 was light, then 35 was light, 25 was light. Now everybody's deep, all weight classes, and it's good to say that we, participated.
And finally, one for all three of you. Frankie, I'll start with you. Do you have a prediction for the main event on Saturday?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go strong Strickland. And, I don't know anything though, but I think his pace, he brings it, and he's fun to watch. That's for sure.
I'm taking Strickland as well. I think bringing emotion into the fight with a guy like Sean is the wrong thing to do. All the trash talk, I think he feeds off the fuel of emotion, and he's going to prove that.
I think Dracus has 2 rounds, and if not, it goes Strickland. I think Strickland's the best 5-round fighter in the UFC right now.
Go ahead.
This one's for Mark, and even for Frankie, since you mentioned opening a school. I mean, have you seen the sport differently now as a coach? Do you appreciate more of it?
Coming in, like the kids now, they're just such better athletes. And, I think we came up as just being fighters and we wanted to fight. Now people are choosing mixed martial arts as opposed to, say, hockey or baseball. So they're getting in it much younger and doing everything younger because, like myself, I just wanted to be a fighter. And that's why I started training. Where now, people see the Conor McGregors are the stars of the sport, and they want to do that when they're 5 years old as opposed to, just choosing fighting because you wanted to fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of diving in on the coach's side and owning the school side. But I'm trying to just instill that old school mentality, that old school toughness as much as I can. These kids have, like he said, are super athletic, have all the knowledge in the world. I'm kind of still keep your feet grounded and make sure you work your tail off, because that's kind of the style I want to go.
And for Sam, you mentioned the fighters on this card from Canada tomorrow have kind of been swimming upstream. What advice would you give to young fighters today coming up?
I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, you got to go in there and you got to put the work in. I think that's one thing that's kind of sorely lacking with, Mark and I run a gym together, and, we got a lot of super talented athletes that are, posting stuff on Instagram and social media and getting validated by all these people. And it's like, okay, you got to listen to your coaches, you got to keep your nose to the grindstone, and you got to work. It's because it's not going to come easy. And, like I said, the people who have made it here from Canada now are the people who have the work ethic. And that's, one of the big things to stress to the young group. It doesn't come easy. No matter how good you are, there's somebody else who's just as naturally talented as you, and it's going to come down to who worked the hardest, and that's who's going to come out on top.
Guys, we're looking so forward to, the future, especially of Canadian mixed martial arts, because where we are. But when you guys reflect upon the fights that you had here in Canada, especially you, Mark, you have this iconic bout with Jose Aldo. I mean, how do you reflect upon those times where you were able to compete here?
So, I just look at guys like Mike Malott, fighting on the pay-per-view. You can tell even yesterday at the press conference, the fans are behind him, and just what an opportunity it will be to fight in front of his country and also become #1 star. Like the opportunities in front of him. He's fighting a seasoned vet on the pay-per-view. The crowd's behind him, the country's behind him, and this is an opportunity that could really skyrocket him to fame in the sport and towards becoming a champion one day.
No, absolutely. And like Sam, you had so many epic battles. We were just talking backstage that so many of your fights took place in Canada. I mean, that's got to feel good as a Canadian resident and somebody who's lived here their whole life to look back upon that and see it.
Yeah, I got to fight in Vancouver, lots in Montreal, in Saskatchewan, in Winnipeg. So I fought everywhere but Ontario, my home province. But that was always kind of one that got away from me. But it is very cool to be able to fight in front of a hometown crowd, because for a long time early in our careers, I mean, even when we were before the UFC, we were fighting in Montreal, so it was kind of us against the French fans. And then we came to the UFC, and there wasn't a lot happening in Canada then, so we were I was always the the out of town guy. So it definitely makes a big difference to fight in front of a crowd that has your back and really it does give you that extra, allows you to dig a little bit deeper when things get tough.
No, absolutely. And since you're all retired and you've all had these prolific careers, is there a place you wanted to fight and you couldn't? Like, did you always want to fight in some particular country or region?
Here.
Well, yeah, for Sam, it was Ontario. Frankie, you fought all around the world. I mean, Japan, all over the...
Yeah, I fought everywhere. I mean, maybe if you could, I hear rumors of the Coliseum going to have a fight.
Oh!
You know, that would have been pretty cool.
Maybe...
You know? I had to come back for that one.
I was going to say, I'm not a big fan of people coming out of retirement, but maybe
for that
we
one,
really
you
need
know,
to.
come on.
What about you, Mark? Was there anywhere that you wanted to...
When I came up, I grew up in martial arts, and my goal wasn't to fight in the UFC, it was to fight in Japan. So I got to do that in kickboxing, so that was kind of a goal before I made it to the UFC. But that was a big opportunity and a dream of mine.
No, it's certainly an incredible place. I know you fought there as well. Incredible place to watch fights as well. The Japanese fans are just on another level. Vic, do we have any more media questions? No. Do we have? If you guys have questions for everyone on this panel, just line up at the microphones up here because go ahead.
I have a question for Frankie Edgar. So you fought in 3 different weight divisions. I was just wondering, during your time fighting, which did you find the most exciting? And also right now, which do you find the most exciting out of those 3?
I mean, for me, I would say the most exciting. I mean, I won the title at lightweight, so for me, that was the most exciting time. Now, the most exciting weight, I might say bantamweight right now, just because of the competitiveness out of that weight class.
Perfect, thank you.
Good question. Go ahead.
Hey, question for Frankie. Is there any fight that got away before your retirement that you wish you can get back to get in the ring with anyone?
No, not really. I mean, all my losses, I want to get all them back. But, I mean, maybe Dominic Cruz. That could have been a good matchup at
Thank you.
some point.
Good question. Do you guys have any fights that you felt like were maybe going to happen or you were hopeful were happen and just slipped away?
I think over the years, Uriah Faber and I were supposed to match up because at that point, I had fought in the UFC and left because I was fighting at lightweight, and I went back to my natural weight, and then WC came around. Uriah was the champ. They brought me back from the UFC to the WC, and we were supposed to match up, and just things didn't align. We're good friends. I have a lot of respect for him, but that's one I think that, it would have been nice to have it, especially at that point.
I would have liked to fight Cowboy at some point. And like we talked about it, him and I are cool, but we were like, that would have been a good fight, I think. And also Clay Guida would have been a fun one, I think.
I love all of those matchups you guys just named. I feel like we missed out, but we were very lucky we saw the careers we did from the 3 of you. Let's go over here.
Hey guys, this is for Mark and Sam. You guys are like the older generation of fighters. My question to you is, the BMF belt is a new introduction. Is that something you guys would like to fight for if it was available back in the day? Or what are your thoughts of the BMF title in general?
Well, I think every one of Sam's fight could have been for the BMF title, so I think Sam would have been a front runner for that.
Yeah, I mean, I like to chase those fight of the nights. Thanks, guys. I mean, I think it's a cool kind of feather in your cap if you win that BMF title. And I prided myself on, for me, obviously winning fights was always very important, but I realized that we do this for you guys, right? So I was just as happy winning a fight of the night as I was winning a fight, not just as happy, but almost as happy winning fight of the night and having like a drag out fight that everybody was on their feet for me, it was all about making it fun for everybody in attendance and everybody watching at home. And so, yeah, the BMF thing is cool for me, but, I would have definitely liked to get that strap around my waist.
Let's go over here. Good question.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I love you guys all. Respect you. You guys are some of my favorite fighters. My only question is for Prime. Can I get some free tickets over here? The boys in the building. Started Frozen's chance, everybody. Let's go. I want some free tickets. Come find me, Prime. Love you guys.
Wait,
though, for
you
real.
have the tickets, or you're asking
Oh,
for the tickets?
somebody give me some free tickets,
Oh.
Prime. I'm out here.
I wish we were cool enough to get tickets for you.
Yo.
Oh, I'll tell Nina that's here.
So tomorrow night there's a fight on the main card between Movsar Evloev and Arnold Allen. Possible title contention in the featherweight division with the winner there. Who do you guys think wins that fight?
Ooh, that might be my favorite fight on the card too.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really tell you who's gonna win. But that's gonna be a hell of a scrap, right? I'm really excited for that one.
You know, as a fighter, I think that's the fighter's fight to watch. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Movsar Evloev.
I'm gonna take him. 17-0. He's dominated everyone he's fought, and he's just again one of those Dagestani wrestlers. He just puts pressure like unbelievable, and I see him winning and stepping up to the title soon.
Arnold Allen, something about watching that guy fight. I just love watching him fight. He's kind of my dark horse pick of the night, so I'm going to go with him tomorrow.
I love it.
All right.
Thank you. We don't have any tickets. I'm sorry.
This is a question for Mark. Your UFC 129 walkout was iconic, and would you choose to relive that night? And what strategy would you change to fight Aldo?
You know, at that point, that was when no one had ever even touched Jose Aldo. So I just knew putting pressure on him. Like everyone was always kind of trying to take him down, take away his striking. I was the first fighter that brought it to him and tried to stand toe to toe. I don't think I would have changed everything because that was 15 years of hard work, 20 years of hard work to get to that moment, and also 15-year overnight success for myself. You know, like all of a sudden I got to fight at the biggest stage at that point, 55,000 people in front of my hometown. And it, that's what I worked all my years for to get that opportunity. And the better man won that night.
Thank you.
Great question. That if you guys haven't seen that fight, but also that walkout that started with the single snowflake, I will never forget it. And I'll never forget your coach, Sean Tompkins, who we all love and miss so much, coming up to us backstage after the fight and saying, okay, I know we didn't win, but we had the coolest walkout, right? And I was like, you sure did. It was a great one, a great memory. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it out on Fight Pass. Go ahead.
Hi, I got a question for Frankie. And just wondering what you called your gym, and if you got any underdogs I could slam some cash on and pay for this trip. Please.
I do not have any underdogs, unfortunately. The gym is going to be Frankie Edgar's Iron Army Academy.
Thank you.
Are we going to have is there going to be a wrestling program attached at all?
We're working on it.
All right. Keep a girl updated. Let's go here.
Hey, this is Devin from Newfoundland, Canada. Yeah. I just want to say you Canadian fans are fucking awesome. Yeah. My question's for Frankie. Who you got in the main event for Conor versus Chandler?
Yeah! I think, if this is at 85, I'm saying Chandler all the way. All right. If it's at 70, I think Conor has a shot in the first round, but I'm going Chandler.
All right, my next question is for the Canadian fighters on stage. Pretty nervous, sorry guys. What was it like leading up to the fight, and how was the training camp?
They're retired.
Any
You guys
fight,
are sorry,
any
guys.
fight in particular? It's a newfie. It's not his
Yeah,
fault.
sorry about that. Goofy noofy, guys. All right. Well, I'm just going to hop off the mic here now. I can't wait to meet you tomorrow, Frankie. Good luck to Mike Malott. Got you guys on the pick.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. It's really making the most of that mic time. All right. We love a sweatsuit. Go ahead.
Question for Frankie Edgar. Frankie, you were the. Never mind. My bad. Let me just get my thoughts. I remember hearing on the broadcast once upon a time that you became the lightweight champion at 155 while also walking around at 155, right? What would you see is the biggest change in lightweights from your generation when you became the champ? Guys like BJ, guys like Diego Sanchez, and to today's generation of lightweights, like guys like Islam Makhachev, Michael Chandler, Jalen Turner, Benil Dariush, Arman Sarukian, those guys. What would you say is the biggest change?
I mean, the best, the cream, everything's relative, right? Cream rises to the top. They were the best at their time. These guys are the best at their time. They're probably a little more athletic, a little more technical, and a little bigger. You know, that's the difference. I mean, that's kind of, you go pretty much any sport, comparing soccer players, football players, from now to back then, they're probably a little faster, a little more technical, and a little bigger. It's just what it is.
I feel like with MMA, it's always kind of, it ebbs and flows, right? You'll see a time where strikers rise to the top, time where wrestlers come to the top, and it's a chess match. You're always trying to figure out, you know, how to counter everything, and, you know, it happens in trends.
Also trying to cut weight to have a size advantage, or trying not to cut as much weight to feel great throughout fight camp. There's different approaches now as well too, especially with the Performance Institute of who's going to cut, who's not, what they're going to do.
Yeah, for sure. It's always.
Yep.
A lot more tools for the guys.
Yeah, exactly. That's very true. Let's go over here.
Yo, I just want to say, Toronto, you the shit.
Let's go.
My first question is Frankie. Frankie, obviously the Conor fight didn't happen. What do you think Conor will match up to you, and who will win?
Like right now?
In your prime, in your prime.
Yeah, I think I would. I mean, yeah, I mean now my prime now. I think I would have done well. I would have done well with him.
Thanks, Frankie. And my question is for everybody there. I know you have a lot of experience and you guys are legends. So who are your Mount Rushmores of the sport?
Yeah, pretty easily, for especially being a Canadian. GSP's got to be the head.
Yeah.
You know, just part of that is because, you know, we came up together, and just seeing him come from our first fights together to see where he went, and not only how he did it, but like just how he carried himself, and, you know, real true Canadian.
I gotta go GSP, Anderson. You know, Conor for what he did for the sport more than how good he was, and BJ. Good
That's a
call.
hard question.
Yeah, I don't know. I got like 5. You know, I
got lots. I could
I mean, there's
go on this all day.
I'll give you John Jones, Demetrius Johnson, GSP, Habib, Anderson. There you go.
Amanda Nunes?
I mean, yeah, you can go Amanda Nunes
You know?
for the lady.
You got to put.
for sure.
I think the only two that go without question are GSP and Anderson. Not to, in my.
GSP is just, you know, he's top of the line, definitely. Did it right, did everything right, no drama, no nothing. That guy's class all the way.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Yeah. How about you, Megan?
Oh man, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
She's pleading a 5th.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get in trouble or more hate in the comments. Go ahead over there.
Hey guys, big fan. Wanted to ask you, Frankie, what is, in your opinion, who's gonna win between Sugar Sean and Chito Vera?
Yeah, I think Sean O'Malley's gotten a lot better since the first time they fought. I think he's gotten a lot bigger too. Cheeto has been looking good. He had that little hiccup against Sandhagen, right? And yeah, I just think O'Malley's kind of feeling himself. I think he's going to take it.
Thank you.
I mean, Teddy Atlas always says you become 30% better once you get that belt.
Yeah, you just get that shine. You
Yeah.
know, that rub, that championship rub. That's just what it is.
Exactly. We'll see if that holds true. Go ahead over here. Okay. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, Frankie.
What's up,
I
my
give
man?
you a lot of respect. You deserve your respect. You've been a legend in this sport. All I got to say is right now is that you need to come back for UFC 300 for a fight. No matter what it is, you need to come back for a fight. You need to come back. You've been there, done that. You've been there and you done that. That's all I got to say, Frankie. I respect you a lot. I love you a lot. I love you, fam. I love you a lot. You deserve this. You deserve this. You've been there.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We'll see. Maybe I'll have
I
some
love you, man.
some backdoor talks with Dana. We'll see what kind of envelopes we got going on.
President of the Frankie Edgar fan club, rightfully so. Go over here. Go ahead.
Hey, hello everyone. I got a question for the living legend, Frankie Edgar. Frankie, since you've been a champion yourself in the lightweight, who are the top 3 lightweight champions of all time in UFC, in your opinion?
I'm not going to conclude myself, so I'll say BJ, Habib, and I'll go Islam right now.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your question. go over here.
You, Frankie Edgar, you have fought some of the greatest fighters in UFC history. You yourself are one of the greatest fighters in UFC history. Who would you say gave you your toughest fight?
Oh, I can't just pick one. Getting ready for BJ was like a mountain to climb. He had the aura about him. He was licking people's blood off his gloves. So to get over that hump was real hard to do. To prepare for him, I kind of brought my training to a level I've never did before. Benson Henderson was tough to deal with. Jose Aldo was one of the best guys, fastest, slipperiest dudes to get your hands on. And then Holloway, I'd say. So.
And Hominick and Sam Stout, 2 Canadian legends. I know you've since gone on to training, and I was coaching, and I was wondering if there were any young Canadian up-and-comers not yet in UFC that you wanted to highlight.
Yeah, we got a couple good rising stars. Some of them are pretty young, still have a little bit of amateur experience they still need to get. There's a kid, Liam North, who I think is the horse to bet on in our young stable of fighters. Mike Adams is really good. We got Tom Theocaris fighting in Unified tonight. We got a good stable of young athletes that I think could make some waves in the UFC.
Thank you so much. Great question.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Over here.
Assalamu alaikum, Frankie Edgar.
Alaikum salam.
Initially, I want to say it's a very big honor to stay here and asking the question from you. Now I just want to ask, I'm pretty sure you know the top ranking fighters from the welterweight division. And now the very popular star in the welterweight division, the Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Absolutely.
And I want to ask one question. I think he deserved to be the contender in the next UFC fight, to be in the fight with Leon Edwards for the UFC welterweight champion belt. What do you think about it?
I think you're very good point. I think he's one of the best guys. I think he's going to fight for a title in the very near future. But I think Bilal probably should get the next title shot, and then my man Shavkat get after that. Sorry.
Every time, you guys. We'll go over there.
Frankie sucks.
No,
My question is for Sam and Mark. Who's the next upcoming people from Adrenaline MMA?
We just got that question. Like I was saying, we got Tom Theocaris is fighting tonight on Unified MMA here in Toronto. So keep your eye on him. Liam North, Mikey Adams. Those are the 3 names I'm giving.
Mark?
Yeah, same thing. We got a lot of young
we
guys.
train these guys together.
Your thoughts on Eli the GOAT?
Oh, Eli's great. He's still working his way up the amateur ranks, but he is very good. Very good.
Perfect. And Frankie, no question for me, but we just love you. Toronto loves you.
Guys, love you guys. Thank you.
We only have time for a couple more, but I want to make sure I get to you. Go ahead.
To all 3 of you, what was your toughest fight?
You want me to start? I mean, the fights with Spencer, all 3 of them were just wars. So, I think I had some tough fights. Matt Wyman was actually really tough. I fought him in Montreal. He was really tough. But when you look at the combination of all 3 with Spencer, I think I got to give it to him.
For myself, Jose Aldo, 5-round fight for a world title. My wife was 9 months pregnant. It was the first show in Ontario, so it was a lot on the plate and a lot of pressure, but it was one I'll always remember.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say we'll go with Max Holloway. He was big ass dude. Felt like I went to grab his leg. I felt like it was like stuck in the ground like a tree. Yeah, didn't get any takedowns. That was a tough fight.
Thank you so much. We'll go over here.
I got a question for Frankie. If you could come back for one fight, who would you fight and what division?
Oh, I'm only coming back for titles now. I'm not coming back, so I don't have anybody on the radar right now.
No one?
Nah, nobody. We love you guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got our last question. Make sure it's a good one.
So let's say all the stars align, and at UFC 300 we get Izzy versus Pereira 3 at light heavyweight. Who do you guys think will win?
At light heavyweight, you asked?
Yeah, Izzy versus Pereira.
Yeah, I think at 205 it'd be too big because cutting the weight. I think that does you can't take as well as a punch there at 85. So 205, I think PR takes the advantage.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, I saw him walking around I saw Pereira walking around the hotel today, and he's just enormous. So fighting at 205, I think that's really where he should be anyways. So, and Izzy looks comfortable at 205, but he doesn't look. We got a fight happening.
I'm not sure if it's a fight or an arrest.
Let's go. Start
Either way,
commentating.
Canada, you guys.
Let's just watch over here.
You guys, hands up now.
If they need help in the stands, we got a few guys that
Yeah.
that can answer the call. I think on that note, we'll probably wrap this up. Shout out to Emily Tompkins. I love you so much. I'm so glad that you're here to join us. You are very much a part of MMA in Ontario, so thank you for being here. Thank you guys so much, Ontario. We love you. We appreciate you.
Thank
Give it
you.
up for Sam, Mark, and Frankie. Our weigh-ins will start at 5 o'clock. Thank you for being here. The fighters for UFC 297 will be on the scale shortly. Thanks, guys.